He has a flying palace, an Airbus, worth $300 million, this man.
A flying palace? Is that what you said?
This is what they call it. It's an Airbus. It's custom made for him. $300 million. I mean, with his zakat, we can feed the whole world. Okay, if it is collected from him. So, I told you I'm biased. So, against them. WikiLeaks really exposed them because austerity. It's called austerity when the country is trying to cut down the expenses.
Yes.
It never included the royal families. Okay. Privatization is a real problem because whenever the country wants to earn some money, they privatize part of the. I'll give you some details later, but this is a real problem. Access to medical facilities was reducing for the people who were already in healthcare. Elevated expenditure because people were trying to get better healthcare by going to the private sector. Now, about the pilgrimage, I'll say that in 2 minutes. Pilgrimage is something that happens once every year. 2 million people go into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia within 2 weeks. So the accommodation, it's a multidisciplinary work to manage 2 million people coming into the country at the same time in the time span of 2 weeks. So it's a real challenge. There has been so many catastrophic accidents where people were rushing and they just killed each other, just stepping on each other or suffocating. It is a real problem. The major challenge is mass casualties, high rates of morbidity and mortality, cholera, meningitis, respiratory disease, food poisoning, traffic accidents, and fires. There were so many fires during the Hajj season. And heat exhaustion, of course. I have to be honest, they do a really good job in the Hajj season, the pilgrimage season. They do a really, really good job because these accidents are rare, but they do happen. So they improve facilities, they increase the seasonal health centers. These are the numbers, you can read them. Vaccinations are mandatory for all the pilgrims. And transportation and the infrastructure, they work on the infrastructure, and as you can see you can see that they spend a lot of money on the roads and the infrastructure just for the Hajj season. Usually this is all empty, these are all people going into, this is what's called Safa and Marwa. This is part of the Hajj. The whole Hajj is 4 or 5 days, that's it. But they stay there for 2 years so that they can manage the accommodation for everyone. Time change. So it's a social media era, as I said. There's globalization. People are opened up to the world. They know what's happening outside. The people outside are knowing what's happening here. So somehow they had to make a change. There's, of course, because of the international efforts to control the disease in the world, the awareness is even better. We have seen that birth in hospitals is almost 100%, and the vaccination percentage is really high. In 2011, as I said, it became mandatory for every single person to be included in the healthcare, whether it's the public healthcare or the private. So those people who earned 400 riyals a month, now they are earning at least the minimum wage, and it's mandatory for them to be insured or included in the public. But the thing is, your employer is the one who decides what type of insurance you have. So you have the elite insurance, the A, the B, and the C, and you don't decide that, your employer decides it. So it's a kind of the downside to it. Maternity care is really changing to the better. The latest improvements are increasing the number of services, public health policies. We can see that per capita, the expenditure of health compared to the WHO is really high. This is because of the privatization and because of people are trying to make use of the private sector. Although they are paying more money, usually it's well known that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has really good salaries. That's why it's a good destination for people to go and live there. 3 of my siblings live there, so I know that very well. Awareness, as we said, reform. They saw that as a threat, so they really thought that it's time to change for the better. Unfortunately, not because they want the wellness of people, but because they don't want to get exposed. Okay, the 9th Annual National Development Plan. This is a plan to make it better, which means better service, better facilities, more money going to it, and also privatization. This is only to show you what are the things that they are trying to privatize. Aramco is the national oil giant. This is the major national oil company. They are private. It's worth $2,000 trillion, and they want to privatize it by 5%. Of course, if you look at these, you see that it's almost everything. They want to privatize everything in order to raise $200 billion in the next few years. This is the only, and healthcare, of course, is one of them. I said that before. Okay, now one of the things they are trying to change is include women in the Shura, Majlis al-Shura, or the consultation committee. So they wanted to include 20% women. This was in 2013. Only this year women were included and not in the number that they promised. But of course, can a female council member drive herself to the Yamama Palace where they... of course not. There's a woman, not one, but there's a famous story about a woman who was jailed because she challenged the whole system and drove. She only drove. It's the only thing she did. So, substantial improvement was made in healthcare coverage and accessibility, constant improvement in workforce. They are trying to qualify Saudis. They want to replace the workforce, the foreign workforce, with the Saudis because Saudis don't like the small jobs. They are not willing to clean the floor or do things like that. Only people do that for them. So they are trying to get educated and take the workforce of the people who are for the educated part of work and not the other ones. Privatization, prices regulated by the government, so there's high volume. My friend is an ophthalmologist, and she went with her ophthalmologist husband to work in a private hospital. And the only reason they came back after a couple of months is because the insurance company tells them that you have to send people more to surgeries, you have to do more investigations, you have to get the big bucks. In order to get the big bucks, you have to send people to as much investigation and interventions as possible. So it's ethically not acceptable, not for me, not for them. They came back. So there are good intentions, but we say in Arabic, only good intentions don't bring babies. I hope I was.
Yes, I would like to ask something.
Yes.
I'm very, well, as a doctor, I would like to know how is it woman being a doctor over there. So as you said, these photographs were from women that they were from outside.
Yes.
So aren't women allowed to work as a doctor over there?
She is allowed to work. Actually, they don't send their women to a gynecologist, male gynecologist, only female gynecologist.
Only female.
So it's a kind of a paradox. They don't want to, they're not interested in raising the level of education for their own girls. I'm not saying that there aren't educated women. There are, and they are on the rise. You know, the awareness is also on the individual level that women are empowered now. They are trying to get out of this mess, I would say. But there are lots of women working there, lots of them, but they have to wear the hijab. There's all these sorts of social, on the social level, on the certain regulations that they have to go to stick with. So it's not easy to live there. For me, my 3 siblings, they just ran away from Saudi Arabia, the 3 of them. Now they are in different places. It's not an easy place to live, but we have good salaries. You can live a good life if you have a good amount of money there, if you have a good job, if you are educated. People who are living, who have these small jobs, they hardly get by. And to get into Saudi Arabia, it's not easy. Either you apply for the company, and then the company would say, okay, we're going to have you, but we are your sponsor. What we mean by his sponsor, it means that you can't open an account without their permission. You can't go back to your country without their permission. It's not that you have your visa, no, it's not enough. He has to sign for you in order for you to visit your family. And there's a real problem with those who go to the Saudi Arabia to work. It takes them almost 2 to 3 years to bring their family. So, and it's a place where the single males don't, there are places that are forbidden for single males, only for families, to protect the privacy of the families. So, that's it.
Rania, if the average Saudi man has 4 wives, and the distribution of births is 50-50 male and female, what happens to all the males who don't have wives?
Because one took all 4.
Yeah. Do they import?
I have to
Women?
say, first of all, there is a way that, I don't know anybody who is willing to give his daughter, let his daughter marry a Saudi, because it's a different culture. They have their own culture. They can live with each other, but it's hard to go and live there as a wife of a Saudi. But things are changing, I'm saying. An average Saudi marrying 4 is not an accurate statement, because not all of them marry 4, not all of them marry 3, not even 2. The indications of marrying, of polygamy, is different in Islam. They take it all wrong. If you want to get married to a second wife, she should be either divorced with kids or widowed with kids. But they do it for the fun of it. And not all of them. I don't know how much percent, of polygamy there is in Saudi Arabia, but it doesn't rise to the point that there are not enough women and men are looking for women. I don't think so.
One more question, I know we need to go, so I'll be quick with this. And I think maybe you said this, but let me clarify. Of the foreign workers, and many people living in Saudi are foreign, their health care is not part of the Saudi healthcare system. It's either privately provided, or, as I understand it, for the lower income people who come from South Asia or Southeast Asia, when they get sick, they get sent home. Is that right? You heard
They
that?
get set. I know, but it's not official. This is from my own, from what I hear from people who live there. If you have a communicable disease, they might send you back, yes.
Yeah.
And they are pretty nasty about it. They have these ways of firing people and sending them home for no reason, for considerations that are, something that has to do with cutting back or lowering the number of workers. They just do that, waves of firing people and sending them home. So it's easy for them, for someone with an active TB, to say to them, go home. HIV is on the rise among Saudis. They have a really drinking problem. They have a huge issue with drug abuse. They only address that in the channels, the Saudi channels. They address that, but the data is not enough even to plot it. So they really try to hide things. It's just like you have this bad son and you're just trying to cover for him all the time, and you just don't want anybody to know that he's bad. It's just like that. They just want to cover things up. And it's a country, it's not a family, it's not a,
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, next class is on Monday. All right, we have 2 more classes, Monday and Thursday. So I'll see you Monday in the regular room. At the regular room.
Okay.
Have a nice Shabbat.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for being patient. I know you were very late today.